Hi, this is Sherry. Welcome to my journey in clay. Today we are going to be making a bowl from a hump mold. Now there's lots of different types of molds. There's a lot that you can buy made out of plaster or wood, and those are actually very nice because the clay releases quite easily from wood or plaster. But you can also make a mold from objects that you have around the house or that you buy at a thrift store, whatever you can find that that might work. So we are going to be using a bowl. This is not the bowl we're going to use. I have a bigger one that I'm going to use. But I did want to talk about the difference between the hump mold and the slump mold. The slump mold is when you take your clay and you put it inside of the mold that you're going to use. So I would be putting my clay inside the bowl. And the advantage of that is that as the clay shrinks, first of all, sometime it will release a little bit from the mold. And second of all, it can be easier to remove. Because if you're using a bowl as a hump mold, you're going to put your clay over top of the bowl. And what that means is that as the clay shrinks, it dries, as it's drying, it's shrinking, you need to be sure that you remove it before it dries too much. Because if it dries too much, it has nowhere to go and it can crack or be impossible to remove, one or the other. So having said all that, let's get started. For our hump mold that we're going to do today, I'm going to do some texture. So I've already rolled my clay out to about a 1/4 inch thickness, a little less than a quarter. I have smoothed the clay with my rib, and I've decided to use some lace for the impression. I'm gonna, oops, got a little bit of dried clay on that. Yeah, make sure your lace is free of clay. So we're going to place this on the clay. It does not fit exactly, but that's okay because we will be trimming it. Then I'm going to take my rolling pin and just gently roll to get a good impression. Make sure you get all of the little to get all of the design here. It's really easy to miss a little spot, but you want to be able to see the clay coming through everywhere. So I'm gonna take my little pony roller and go around any little spots that I see that don't have a good enough impression. Okay, I think that's good. Because once we take it off, it's too late then. Now, most of the time, if I'm making something, I would remove the lace at this point. But I want to try something different today. I want to try leaving the lace on for a little bit. I'm going to put it on the hump mold and let it dry a bit and then remove the lace. So I'm thinking that this will help keep it from sticking a little bit. Anyway, we'll see. Be right back for next step. So here I have my clay ready to go, and I want to flip it over on the bowl. I want to try to get the center in the center, which is always a little tricky. Okay, there we go. And you can see I do have a slight impression on the back too. And that is because the first time I did it, I didn't really like the way it turned out for the inside. So this is hopefully pretty much in the center, and we want to go around and just gently press. Just a little bit at a time to try to get it to go to the shape of the bowl. We're going to be doing some trimming here. I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to take my pin tool, and there's ways you can do this, but I'm just going to take my pin tool and keep it as steady as I can and turn around. It's actually easier if you want to make a wavy bowl. Ooh. Just a spot there. Hopefully I'm going to meet at the, okay. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Okay. And this is not wavy now, and what we will do is I'm not going to smooth the edges yet. I'm going to wait for this to dry. I'm not really sure how long it will take. I'll check every 20 minutes or so and see if it's a good consistency, and then we will finish up. Well, it's been a little longer than 20 minutes. I decided to cover it and let it sit overnight. So it's a little bit soft, but I think it's the right degree of hardness. So we're gonna try flipping it over. What I'm gonna do is hopefully successfully flip the whole thing. Okay. We'll take our bowl out. Take our plastic out. And we'll take our doily out. Okay. We're ready to smooth the edges. To smooth the edges, I'm going to use plastic wrap and just very carefully go around, smoothing these edges out. Now I want to put a foot on this bowl, so I'm going to put the plastic on over here, and I'm going to flip it back into the bowl to maintain its shape for a little bit longer. I'm going to try something a little bit different here for the foot of the bowl. So I have some clay that I have rolled out. It is a good 1/4 inch thick, and I'm going to cut press out 2 concentric circles. Okay, that worked so far. Then I'm going to make another cut inside here. Okay, let's see. I think this is going to work. And then I'm going to put this on the bottom of the bowl. Once I put it on the bottom of the bowl, I'll probably make a little cut. That way, when you wash it, the water won't collect in the middle. It'll go out the edges. You'll see what I mean in a minute. All right, I have my bowl, and I'm going to put this ring on it, but first I want to do some scratching. So I'm going to gently turn this over and scratch it. And then I'm going to also scratch and slip the bowl. Now, to get an idea here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the inner circle here and just sort of place it about where I think it will be. And this foot is a little bit wide, so I have a little bit of leeway as to where I'm going to scratch. So I'm just going to go right outside this because I know that this inner circle, that's the size that it's going to be. All right. And then I'm going to put the slip on the foot itself because I know that's exactly where the slip needs to be. Whereas the outline here, it's about right, but not 100%. So we'll get some good old slip on here. And then hope for the best. Now I'm going to gently press down on this, but I'm not going to flip it over yet. I'm going to let this dry a little bit more because I have in the past been anxious and turned it over too soon, and then what happens is if this clay is not hard enough, then it starts sinking down, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to press this. Now, as I said, I do kind of want a little space here for water to come out. Like if you're washing it and put it in the dishwasher, say, then water collects in here. So I find just a little slit on either side will prevent that. I think I'll let this set up a little bit first though. Okay, I'm ready to go ahead and make those little cuts. So I'm going to use this ruler to try to ensure that they're exactly on opposite sides. And I'm just going to make a mark first before I actually cut. And actually I'm glad I did because that looks like it is right in the middle. So I'm going to make another line and another line. Okay. And now I'm going to have to do that a little more carefully here. Okay. And then we don't want any sharp edges, so I'm gonna round these edges here. And on the other side. It's a little bit of a piece of clay in there. I don't know if you can see it, but there we go. Okay, that's better. Okay. All right, I think we're done. I think this is dry enough that we can turn it over. So what we'll do is we'll get another wear board and do this whole flip thing again, carefully. Okay. Now let's see if everything comes. Oh yeah, this is fine. All right. This is done, ready to dry and fire. Show a little closer up there. It looks good. I'm happy with it. So we'll set that aside to dry. I do like to show a completed piece when I do one of these videos, but it's going to be a little bit before I do another firing. So I just want to show you a bowl that I made with the same mold, which is fired. And I'll show a close-up of that too. Thanks for watching. See you next time.